So Havik has finally been changed with the new Chaos Reigns patch. Yeah, I know, it took a whole year, but we finally got it. And now, is he good? Is he bad? Where does he rank on the tier list? That's what I'm here to tell you about, buddy. Let's get into it. Ripping the band-aid off, his back 2 is still 18 frames, his forward 4 is still 15. As far as main moves go, nothing of note, I believe, has been changed at all. Hit advantage, block advantage, startup, none of that has been changed at all. It's not all doom and gloom. Havik has been given, I believe, 3 or 4 new moves to, make up for, the fact that his moves are still dog water. Starting with a comboable low that pretty much reaches about half screen, or not half screen, jump distance. The combos, you can do whatever you want with it, and you can even mix it up with the overheads that are in Havik's chains. So overhead here is now a low. 4112 into an overhead is now 4122 into a low. It wasn't bad. Boom, into a low. And of course you can mix this with different overhead cameos to create a whole bunch of overhead 50-50s. However, I need you to understand that if this is blocked, you are going to be eating a whole lot of damage. It is minus 17, which I believe this makes Havik's first punishable special. Nope, it isn't, because this is punishable. So never mind. His second punishable special move. Oh, nope, his third, because I forgot this is punishable too. Okay, he has a lot of punishable moves, whatever. The low is a very good combo tool because for the first time in Havik's pretty much life, Havik is getting crazy damage, basically meterless. %44 with 1 cameo meter. I think you need to understand 44% for, let's just say, exactly like how a lot of Haviks open up people. They try to down 1 or try to challenge the button off of back 2-2. Meaning if they try to challenge that and they do not get it, they are getting hit for 44%. And of course, if you still hit the arm, you can still get the neck break, which means you're adding 44 on top of 22, 23. Matter of fact, let me show you. If you just saw, look at his health. I didn't even do the second part optimally. He is already basically within death's range off of 2 bars, which is insane. That is one of the biggest changes to Havik. He is now no longer a below average damage dealer. That was one of the biggest problems with Havik. A lot of his damage was not very good. Like, if you just did one of his main optimals with like no cameo, if I wasn't bad. Yeah, see, 28%. So Havik alone usually doesn't do a lot of damage. Versus Havik now, without any other people, he at the very least is doing 35 by himself, no one else. That alone is enough to make Havik amazing. But NetherRealm was, beautiful. They wanted to, bless the main villain of Chaos Reigns and give him even more. Another one of his biggest ones, the arm is now, I believe, 15 frames faster than what it used to be. Ladies and gentlemen, that alone would be good, but the number one thing that's going to make him even more crazy, the arm is safe. And it's also usable as a reversal tool now. Meaning, you are now able to throw this out. And I forgot to mention as well, it kept all of its armor. The EX is still 4 hits of armor, regardless. The regular one, still 1, but it's fast. Not to mention, it kept its damage. So you have a 45 frame fast reversal that does 22% damage. That alone, or not even alone, that is fucking amazing as well. Versus, not to mention, he has 2 armored wake ups. I forgot to mention that this is a wake up as well. This has armor as well. So if you keep sending that out and they're ready for this, just do this. It's fast enough, unreactable basically, but it's unsafe. You can do this one, but it's unsafe, or you can do this one, get a bunch of damage, but it's a lot slower. Next, as far as special moves go, is Havik has a far-reaching overhead. Basically, from about here, you can hit them for an overhead. So if you're using a character that has a like low usable, what's it called? Say Darius, Kung Lao especially. I think it's going to be really good with Kung Lao. You can, let's say, do something like this. Something like that, meaning you are creating ambiguous overhead lows that they have to guess, which technically you could do anyway, but you can mix up where it happens. Exactly. You don't see where the Lao hat is, so you have to mix up where it happens. That's another insane thing that is given. Not to mention, on normal hit, it just splats, which is fine, but on EX, it bounces. Which means you can do whatever you want. Hit him with this, boom, or you can just be ass like me, boom, 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 boom. Something simple like that. Another great move that's added to it, but the main one that at least, the people who, gave me information about the move that I've seen is it's really good as a ender. Because as you can see, it does basically like a hard knockdown effect on your opponent. So you do 1, 2, boom. And you can do this, and it's more or less safe. So you go arm, or any way that gets you in the air, and you hit the leg. You have now just done, you can now pretty much get in for free, basically, because it's like a hard knockdown effect. As far as the other special moves that he's already had, all except one, everything else is still more or less the same. The mouth orb is still slow, but I don't know if they fixed any whiffing issues with it. But the biggest one, and I think this might be the biggest selling point of Havik now, is they have they have added and changed some things about the biggest gimmick in Havik's kit, the tether. So normally when the tether happens, you use someone like Movado, you did the big roll, boom, you do Movado, kick them away, and you do the unbreak, like an unblockable setup. However, now there's another layer to it, because sometimes they can get up and do all kinds of different things. If the tether is now connected, you can spend another bar. So let me go ahead and take off the meter. So you spin the 2 here, and if you spin it again, you break it. Now, usually that wouldn't be, that big a deal. So what? It's just an extra bar. That sounds fucking awful. However, the biggest thing is if you break the bar, it, as you can see, it does 0. Count it, 0 damage scaling. Meaning, let's say you did a combo like the Movado Optimal, 44%. If you waste the meter again, you are now doing 44 again. Now, that sounds amazing. And there's even more great with it. If you haven't noticed, while I have that what's called on, all moves that are EX cost 0 meter. Meaning you walk up and you do the normal move for the EX arm. As you can see, took no meter from me. Let me make sure I don't have the refill on. See, it says that default. Meaning also, another big one, another good thing about the EX is it breaks armor. Meaning you create a legitimate unblockable setup. As in, there is nothing your opponent can do if they get up and try to armor their way through it. Now I understand. I get what you're saying. Mementos, this sounds broken. Downright, absolutely cannot be in the game. Well, there's a downside to it, and it's a really fucking big downside. The downside is, as long as Havik has that purple aura on him, every single button on your controller is completely reversed. So for 7 to 9-ish seconds, your controls are completely reversed, meaning your block that is normally R2 is L2. Your forward is back. Your back is forward. Your down is up and your up is down. Your square is triangle, your triangle is square, your X is circle, and your circle is X. Every single button is reversed. Even your cameos. Your cameos is now L1 instead of R1. Your block instead of R2 is L2, which means for 8 seconds. And it's not just even if you lose the taunt, or sorry, even if you don't activate the, even if you don't get to land the neck break, sorry. Even if you don't get to land the neck break, it's still on you regardless. So if you somehow manage to miss the neck break, that still is on you. You should be aware, you should be aware that, in my opinion, if you are a new Havik main wanting to learn Havik, do not use this move. Unless you are comfortable with knowing what buttons are what for certain combos in reverse, don't do this. And if you're experienced, I would recommend just hitting the lab a bunch of times and just staying in there until you are comfortable with the combos that you're labbing. But yes, this move, the EX taunt has a ton of pros, but a lot, like a really big con. So unless, if you believe that you can, deal with that, then by all means. The trade-off is, as you can see right there, the trade-off is, if you are confident that you can do them in reverse, you will TOD your opponent, meaning you cannot be touched by Havik. That's really what I've gotten at the end of the day from this version of Havik. If you are touched by this version of Havik, you will explode. Where he still struggles per se, or in my opinion, with like checking buttons and neutral is kind of weak, his zoning is still slow. The thing is, if he opens you up, you are very liable to die. As in, you are going to explode for a whole lot. Once again, it is also still Havik is very meter intensive and still cameo reliant, I would say. But he falls, in my opinion, in the same area as like Lee May and Melina, where these characters are really good, but if you really let them open you up, you're going to explode. As in, if they get their hands on you, they're going to make your entire health bar magically disappear. As far as where I believe he is on a tier list scale, once again, I will say this is all too early to tell. So once again, take it with a grain of salt. I would say he is perfectly in the middle, either in the middle or top 15. I think what Havik does, and through, Movado, Jax, Scorpion, all of them, once you get opened up, you're going to explode. Whether that's from the command grab, because you can still also, with Movado, combo with the command grab. So you can just go boom, 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 boom. Oh shit. $25% off a command grab ain't bad. $25% grab is still perfectly fine. Now, where do I believe he stands? Mid-tier. Once again, I believe this is the where Havik should have released as. I know I've said that for pretty much all of Mortal Kombat, but truly, Havik in the beginning is almost shocking how bad he was. As if you couldn't convince me otherwise that he was not a character that was released, or at least made at the very end of the game's life cycle. Because there's no way you allow a character to come out that, I don't want to say unfinished, but it just didn't feel right to say that he felt complete. Overall, Havik is in a much better place. I don't believe he's bottom 5, bottom 3, hell, even bottom 1 anymore. I believe that he is clearly out of that. I believe that I don't believe that he's, clearing a lot of the best characters like Johnny or anything. I don't believe that he's going to those kind of characters. I believe even Tanya will still probably have a better matchup against him anyway, but that's a different thing. I believe Havik is in a much better spot. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think Havik is better? Is there anything that you would have liked to have seen? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I've been your boy Mementos. Peace. But man, Havik is finally good.